We would get orders in, and the orders had just started coming in by this crazy machine called the facsimile. It was amazing. And it would beep and it would print out orders that people had handwritten. It was so crazy. I was like, holy shit, this is technology.
That you get the thing and then all of a sudden you couldn't read it after.
Yeah, it was pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Actually, what I remember, if you guys were getting orders through the fax machine,
Yeah.
my generation is actually scarred by the fax machine, having to turn down the volume when we're getting on the internet to avoid that god
the dial-up.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
yeah. That thing was the worst. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that those hellscapes of technology were actually helpful.
Yeah,
You know what? But that's bullshit because you've never seen a fax machine.
Did they even have that when you were a kid?
Jesus.
Just calm down.
He went to the Smithsonian Institute and saw one.
I know. He saw it in a movie
You're
once.
full of shit, bro.
Hey everybody, it's Adam
And Brandi.
here from Happening Now with Hammer, reminding you to go check out High Times Wine Cellar and Liquor Store in Costa Mesa.
Pick up all your 4th of July goodies at High Times.
Especially the pouches from Good Bev CO. We tried them the other day, and these Good Bev CO pouches are the way to go if you want a compact little marg in an easy to travel with pouch.
He always says things so fancy. It's a boozy juice box, and it's fucking awesome. It is delicious. They taste really good. They're dangerously good. It's 10%. You can fit way more of these in a cooler than a bunch of cans. Less heavy, less waste, and also delightful. And you kind of look cool drinking it. It's really just kind of fun.
Welcome back to Happening Now with Hammer. I'm your host, Cousin Adam, coming to you from Newport Beach, where summer has finally come back. Joining me in the studio today is somebody who still uses hydrogen peroxide in his hair because he thinks it's either going to make it grow longer or keep it blonde. It's Hammer.
You can't get any whiter than this, man. You don't need that HP, okay?
He's going to start parking cars at the lawn pretty soon.
Also, somebody begging to help him with his general aesthetic. We're joined by Brandi as well today.
Thanks for the hydrogen peroxide, Brandi.
Anytime.
Also, we're lucky enough to have a couple titans of industry here in the studio. We've got Mark Simpson from IPD Surf and Dan from Good Bev CO.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I've never been called a titan before, Adam, but I'll take it in this sense. Thank you very much.
Hey, Mark, go with it, bro.
That was pretty impressive.
Just go with it. He's a very complimentary kid.
That's pretty impressive. Thank you.
You should be holding that,
Mark Simpson, titan.
that Triton, yeah.
I'll wake myself up in the morning and stare at myself in the mirror and tell myself I'm a titan to sort of just manifest the day for me. Thank you very much.
I'm
Thank
better,
you.
On the mirrors.
and gosh darn it, people love me.
That's right.
You got to do it quiet, though, because if the wife hears it, she's going to knock you back down. She'd be like, oh, Titan, will you make the coffee already?
Hey, Mark, you taking the trash out?
She already doesn't listen anymore. It's all good.
Well, fellas, we do want to hear a little bit about both backgrounds. Dan, we've had you on here, and I've had such a good time every single time you brought those pouches in. And now we're glad you're sipping the common man's brew with us and enjoying a Modelo. Thank you.
Of course. I mean, sometimes you got to not drink your own supply, right? So
Yeah, you don't get high on your own supply.
I got to
right?
make money somewhere.
Sales have been good. The sample bin is empty.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys, right? Free donation to Good Bev. So appreciate the Modelo.
Wait a minute. I'm kind of pissed that I don't have one of those margarita bags.
I
Okay?
know. It's warm
we really
right
enjoyed
now. I
those.
was actually quite looking forward to that.
Let's just cut this short. Get your ass back over there and bring some margarita.
There should have been some reciprocity, so apologies. Short day today to get
Yeah,
over
there you go.
here. So
They are really good.
They are good.
thank
I'm
you.
a fan.
Thank you.
I couldn't believe, we talked about this last time, but it tasted like a fresh margarita. That somebody just squeezed that lime in there and away you go.
I've got powerful hands, been squeezing limes just directly in there every day. Yeah.
You guys nailed it for sure. And there are a
Thank
few
you.
places I enjoy a fresh margarita more than when I come in from surfing, which is really the background that has built, again, the man who we've now been able to kind of help those morning mantras, our titan of industry, Mark Simpson.
That's it. Yeah. Yes. So how far back do you want to go with what I started? Because if we go really far back, I'm adopted and my natural mom was 14 years old. She was a freshman in high school. So I just like sometimes to kick in that little fun fact.
Nice.
So isn't that cool? How fun is that?
I wonder if I knew your mom.
You maybe, I don't know, Dad.
We have some similarities
I
there.
know. You're a Titan. You're a Titan. You're a Titan of the podcast industry.
It's that Titan thing.
Let's do a DNA test after this. Okay, cool. But yeah, since then, I actually eventually grew up and went to school, and I learned how to surf, and I went to college, and then I somehow got a job working in a warehouse, and I started selling T-shirts, blah, 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 blah.
Now, I think you're glossing over some really good like head dunking phases a little too quickly for me.
Well, yes.
So middle school, high school, where'd we go?
Well, actually, middle school, I went to Venado Middle School in Irvine, California.
Venado.
The Venado, yes.
It sounds Italian.
Yeah, and then I went to Woodbridge High School in Irvine. So, yeah. So, and then I actually ended up going to school up Northern California, San Jose State. I didn't really care what the school was all about, but I knew that it was close to Santa Cruz. And
Good waves.
Yeah, totally.
So I ended up there. And then finished that up, and I ended up back down here working in a clothing warehouse for a company that is long in history. Hammer, you're going to remember them. Massimo, remember them?
Oh, love
no
Massimo,
way.
man.
Oh, yeah.
They were the pioneers.
Dude, I was number 18 employee working in the warehouse at Massimo. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Now, were those like kind of the days too where you would like on a carbon copy piece of paper write down your hours for the week and be like, no, I swear this
No,
is
we
how
didn't
much I
have
worked.
ink back
Oh,
then.
geez, you're dating.
No, but we would get orders in, and the orders had just started coming in by this crazy machine called the facsimile. It was amazing. And it would beep, and it would print out orders that people had handwritten. It was so crazy. I was like, holy shit, this is technology.
That you get that thing, and then all of a sudden you couldn't read it after.
Yeah, it was pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Actually, what I remember, if you guys were getting orders through the fax machine,
Yeah.
my generation is actually scarred by the fax machine, having to turn down the volume when we're getting on the internet to avoid that god
the dial-up.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
That thing was the worst. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that those hellscapes of technology were actually helpful.
Yeah,
You know what? But that's bullshit because you've never seen a fax machine.
Did they even have that when you were a kid?
Jesus.
Just calm down.
He went to the Smithsonian Institute and saw one.
I know. We saw it in the movie once.
Full of shit, bro. Come on. Yeah.
So then we eventually we moved to Northern California because that's where my wife's from, up in kind of near Marin County, and then I got a call from Bob Hurley a couple years later asking if I wanted to be a part of his new company called Hurley International. He had given back the license to Billabong, which was a pretty big company that he had ran the license for here in North America for 20 years.
Well, now I know why we call you a Titan. You went from one of the big dudes to one of the big dudes.
Yeah, I get.
You just like hanging in with the powerhouses.
Never really a big dude, but okay, we'll go with it for this. So no, I was the first sales rep for Hurley in Northern California, and I was there for over 20 years through the Nike acquisition, through all the fun stuff, and then when Nike ended up selling us in 2019, I believe, to a private equity firm out of New York. Thought it was maybe time to move on. I had a good 21-year run, which I don't think you hear too much of anymore these days.
No, that's a drinking age career.
Yeah.
That's
It's crazy,
awesome.
right? Yeah, it's nuts. And then, so some friends and I, Bill Hurley and my friends Eric and Seth and a couple other guys that I worked with at Hurley, as well as some other people that we knew from the industry, went and just started our own company. We'd kind of gotten sort of fed up with the way that the big corporate conglomerates had taken over the surf industry. None of the big brands were owned by people that actually surfed anymore. It was all owned by private equity, New York types. And there wasn't a lot of authenticity in it anymore, which is a word that is really bandied about a bit too much these days. But so we're really proud of being a smaller company right now that really focuses on selling to surf shops. We all paddle out and surf, and we actually we walk the talk, which not a lot of folks do anymore. And so we believe that there's something there from a term of staying true to the endemic, right?
Yeah, but one thing is that you got to love. You guys have the passion and the fortitude to do it, but it's a compliment when these big cats come in and say, "Hey, I want what you got," because you did a good job at it.
Yeah, it is, but it still takes a while to build up, right? So our job now is to go to these stores, go to these core surf shops who have built their businesses on all of these legacy brands that are 50, 40, 30 years old now, right? And here, coming from a music background, Hammer, I think you'll appreciate this. I look at it like this. A lot of these shops are playing oldies, all oldies. They're pretty good songs, right? They're pretty rad. But at the end of the day, all they're doing is listening to oldies. But I think a lot of times kids are wanting to hear what the new music is. Who's the new cool bands on the block, right? And that's what the new brands are. And if some of these shops aren't willing to bring in and play the new brands on their radio, they're essentially freaking K-Earth 101. Is that an oldie station, I think, still? I don't know.
Not only that, they're dying.
Yeah.
They're crumbling.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Everybody's getting older, and they don't know those brands anymore. So if you get a new brand, you keep it fresh.
Exactly. Or they do know the brands, but what the kids are doing is they're going, hey, my dad's wearing that brand.
Right.
I don't want to wear that brand. Right? And so you have to bring in news.
I don't know, not necessarily. I mean, I think there was like a couple that have like reinvented themselves. Like Stussy went away for forever, and now they're selling T-shirts for $75. You know what I mean? Like they're
Stussy is the absolute bellwether example of an apparel brand, of a brand that has been able to stand the test of time by maintaining its integrity. And instead, what we have now, I think, in my opinion, is there's a ton of clothing companies out there, but there's not a lot of brands.
Right.
Right.
I
And
agree.
so that's sort of our mission, is to create a brand, a movement of bringing kids together. That's why we're doing things at our headquarters over here in Costa Mesa, like having skate nights every Thursday.
Dude, the hot dog and
every
handrail thing.
Thursday, hot dogs and handrails.
So sick.
Mark, you've been doing this a long time. These new guys, they don't know, first of all, what a brand is or how to create the brand. They think because I got this cool T-shirt that says I rock or whatever it is, I'm going to make that happen. But you got to create the brand.
Exactly. It's less about the clothing in the beginning,
Right.
and way more about the brand, because you have to create a
Absolutely.
movement that kids want to be a part of, right? And so that's why we're doing things like having skate nights. We're having bands playing there. We're doing film premieres. We did a film premiere a few weeks ago for a surfer that isn't even sponsored. He's not sponsored by us, but we back him. And so we had him do a premiere at our place because we have the venue for it. So it's really supporting the community and supporting the Costa Mesa and the Newport Beach community. And next thing you know, you get little Johnny going, hey, those guys are kind of cool, and they're wearing this brand. And their mom goes into Surfside Sports over here in Costa Mesa and goes, hey, my kid wants some T-shirt by a company called IPD. That's how it starts happening.
Yep.
Right.
But what's cool about that is they know that IPD is all original surfers. They live it, they breathe it. It's the thing. It's not the corporate tie.
Even down to the location you guys have.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're right by Pure Glass.
Yeah.
You're right by where so many boards that people are going to be using, and
Yeah.
not just around the California coast, but around the world.
Right.
I mean, you're right in the zone.
Yeah, the location is, I think, the 50-yard line of the surf industry.
For sure. And it's quickly becoming the 50-yard line for work beers. Because as Dan knows, this is also the area that is having a little alcohol resurgence, and we cannot be happier that these two industries are being wedded along the Orange County Riviera.
And you cannot get busted for slurping and surfing.
No.
You can't. No.
No, it's encouraged.
Wait, but you can for like riding a bicycle or even walking. But wait, is this the thing?
No, it's
think
a thing.
there's- I don't think there's any SUI that is existing.
Right.
Yeah, there's no SUI.
Yeah, no SUI.
Local police don't surf, I guess. That's
No.
yeah. At least not with the badge on.
They
so.
sink. They sink. Yeah. What happened, guys? We had cold weather forever, and now, I mean, we were living in the Amazons here for quite some time, and now all of a sudden we're getting
I don't
heating
know.
again.
I don't know. Why don't you sell one of these fancy ass fucking cars or something like that? Get us some AC in here.
Hey,
I think it's great, man. I'm not a cold weather fan. So.
Me neither. I'm still
Yeah.
not. I never want to shovel myself out of the driveway ever again.
Yeah, I will say, being in the apparel business and selling board shorts to surf shops, when you wake up every day and it's raining and you walk in and you talk to the retailers and you're like, how's business? And they shoot darts at me.
Just hate the questions.
Pretty nice to wake up and see the sun. Trust me on that
I'm
one.
here for it.
I think I've shot those darts at you before. Once
I'm
or
sure you
twice,
have,
Being
yeah.
a June in San Francisco. How are the board shorts doing? Fucking 42 degrees. How do you think they're doing, Mark?
Yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah, but
it's-
here's the deal. Us Newport Beach boys, I don't care if it's 42 degrees out, we're still in board shorts.
yeah. Well, it's because it doesn't get 42 out here.
Go with it.
Yeah, even when it's gray, it's still doable, right?
Yeah, still worth it.
So,
Yeah.
but yes, it is nice to wake up in the morning and see the sun.
Oh, immediately. Yeah.
mood
Yeah.
booster.
Yeah, the only problem about that for me is being the snob is that all of a sudden I've seen some videos where the whole peninsula has stopped for 40 minutes because there's so much traffic down here now.
Oh, totally.
Because it's so hot up top, everybody's coming down, and all of a sudden we're in New York City.
Okay, this gets back to the point that I think would like drastically improve Newport Beach and Costa Mesa as a little duo city zone. If you shut off all car traffic stops right at the entrance to the peninsula, right at Hogue, somewhere over there. I don't know whether it's a floating parking garage or you submerge the thing. Then it's all bike traffic from there to the jetty. That's it.
Hey, unless you're a resident,
I was
right?
going to say, but how do you get to your house?
Hey, Mark, remember back in the day,
such a hippie,
you would
dude.
get to Cassidy's and they would have a block there, and if you didn't have ID, you weren't going down the peninsula.
I do remember that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, that was great.
Unless you're resident. Come on.
Well, you have the fare traffic too. That also like adds to
that's
all of
brutal.
this. The fare traffic.
Hey, it's potentially about to get worse, though. Have you guys heard that they're trying to shut the ferry down?
Yeah.
They're trying to.
Because the battery.
They're trying to shut the ferry down because it doesn't, I think, adhere to California emission standards or
No,
something.
Newsom wants to make make it a battery operated.
Yeah, there you go.
They don't want it to have diesel because of the whole bit.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of diesel completely on everything.
Exactly.
So that would kill the fishing industry, by the way.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
No, completely.
Well,
And I'm sure that's probably what they want to do.
towing the ferry by junior guard power could really help.
That would be a great thing to do.
Can you just get one of those cute little tugboats?
So wait a minute. Okay, the first day you're going to have all of them show up. The second day nobody will be there. Adam.
That's pretty good, though. That's a good call, Adam.
Weed out the weak ones. What are we talking about? Yeah, come on.
Jeez, never happened.